Take me by the hand, lead me to the land that you understand.
Explain why I got why I picked all the why I got them where they're at. So number 15, I got the New York Knicks. Their free agency basically just became a meme. So they struck out with 2 free agents that went 20 minutes away. So 20 minutes away, and they ended up getting like a bunch of role players. Like I think the best player they got was Julius Randle, who's a good player, but not enough to give him that jump. Pretty safe to say that they're still rebuilding, but not only that, they also traded away Kristaps Porzingis, who was their best player. They couldn't really get anywhere with him, and yeah, I get it, he got injured, but even back when they still had him, they were still missing the playoffs. They were still really bad. So that's who I got at number 15. Number 14, I got Charlotte Hornets. Yeah, Michael Jordan has really not been a good. I think it was an owner for them. Yeah, but sorry, Jesus. Michael Jordan. Most people consider him the greatest player of all time, and he has been a complete bust as an owner. Under Michael Jordan, that team has made the playoffs 3 times and got knocked out of the first round all 3. And they did lose their best player in Kemba Walker. Yes, they got Terry Rozier, but he is a downgrade from Kemba Walker. So I don't see the Hornets going very far. I think they're going to be a bad team. I think they're going to be worse than they were last year, just because they lost Kemba Walker, who was an all-star. Number 14. This is so sad, man. This is my favorite team. We got the Cleveland Cavaliers. Yes, I know Colin Sexton. We got Kevin Love, but I think even with him, we're going to miss the playoffs. Regardless, and we don't know how his health's going to be. Colin Sexton. A lot of people was actually sleeping on him last season. He was actually great throughout like the second half of that season, like at the All-Star break. Colin Sexton, he's a guy who's basically more known to be a defensive player, who's known to be for his toughness, and he started dropping 20 points a game. He's not really known in college. He was basically more known to be a defender. I think he's still a good defensive player. Some people might say no, but I think it's just his defensive IQ that needs work. Needs work. We do got Darius Garland. We also got 2 rookies in Dylan Windler and Kevin Porter Jr. Yeah, I was trying to think on top of my head, but yeah, those guys are like unproven. And we can expect some trades. I'm hearing Jordan Clarkson in the trade rumors. I'm also hearing Tristan Thompson, who could get injured, but at the end of the day, he is on his final year of the contract, and we might even and Brandon Knight might be in a mix of teams that could wind up trading him. Not teams. I don't know what I was saying. Okay, number 12, I got the Atlanta Hawks. Trae Young, he's basically. I don't think he really should have been in the. I don't think he really should have been in top 2 for rookie year. Don't get me wrong. I think he can be an all-star in the future. But the thing is that he's basically like a downgrade Stephen Curry, who I think Stephen Curry's just a star, not a superstar. But yeah, Trae Young, he's a great shooter. But he's not really a good defender. He's an okay. He's an okay passer. I wouldn't really call him a great playmaker. Yes, I know Hawks fans might get mad at me for this statement, and I guess some Warrior fans might get mad at me for this statement. But yeah, that's my. But yeah, they do have some decent young pieces around them. They also drafted a new shooting guard. I think they got DeAndre Hunter, who I actually want my Cavs to get, but once again, he's unproven. Number 11, I got the Chicago Bulls. I do think they will be a little bit better than last season. They do got Zach LaVine, who's been like an all-star caliber player. Which I probably would just say borderline, but at the end, I would probably actually say borderline. Borderline all-star. And yeah, I know some people might get mad at me for that scoring, but I do think Zach LaVine, I think he does need to work on his defense. And people say, like, well, you always go on about defense. Defense is overrated. It's like, people, defense wins. Defense wins championships. Jesus Christ. It's doing this while playing Minecraft. Anyways. But they do have some good players there. Lauri Markkanen, I think, is the reason why I got them over. I got them over the 4 teams that I got them over. But I think he could very well become an all-star. Maybe even this season. If not this season, I think he will become one next season. But then again, I think he was injured, if I'm not mistaken. Number 10, I got the Washington Wizards. I was originally going to have them lower, but at the end of the day, they do have Bradley Beal. And Bradley Beal, who's basically like an all-star caliber player. All-star caliber player. So I do think he'll be enough. But then again, I'm not too sure. He might actually get traded, so the Wizards can jumpstart their rebuilding. And though it might be tricky with John Wall there with that ginormous contract, I don't know, and we don't know if he's going to be the same player. It looks like he most likely won't. Most likely won't. And he was a guy that, yeah, he's a playmaker and he can do some things, but he was also pretty athletic, so I do think that's going to drop a little bit. Number 9, I got the Orlando Magic. Yes, they did make the playoffs. They got Nikola Vucevic, who was an all-star, but these teams I got above them, it's kind of hard for me to put them up below the. Kind of hard for me to put them below the Orlando Magic. So yeah, I got the Magic at number 9. 8 seed, I got the team that's going to barely make the playoffs in the East is going to be the Toronto Raptors. On Pascal Siakam, who I now think is the best player on the Raptors. Yes, I do think Pascal is better than Kyle Lowry, in my opinion. And Kyle Lowry, he does not perform well in the playoffs. So I do think that they will make the AC, and I do think they will lose in the first round. So for my 7th seed, I got the Brooklyn Nets. Yes, I know people's gonna go off on me. For saying that the Brooklyn Nets are not going to be a higher seed, but here's the thing. Yes, I do think they're going to make the playoffs because they do have a lot of the core role players. The really good role players. They did have to give up D'Angelo Russell. Now they did get Kyle Lowry and Kevin Durant, but Kevin Durant is not really going to play this season. I do think one of the reasons why Kyrie Irving why the Celtics didn't make the playoffs second round. I'm sorry, it pains me to say this. I'm a Cavs fan. I was actually not mad at Kyrie from wanting out. So I do think first off, Kyrie has something to prove. And yes, it does pain me to say this, and Kevin Durant's not going to play next season, and even if he does come back, we don't know if he's actually going to be the same player he once was with the Warriors or the Thunder, stuff like that. So okay, I get a Celtics at number 6. Okay, yeah, I got Celtics at number 6. This Boston Celtics, the team got worse, first off, because they did lose Al Horford, who's a very important piece to their team, because he could play defense. I don't really know much about where their defense is going to come from. They don't really have him. Yes, I know Marcus Smart is still there, but they're going to need more than defense from that guy. They also lost Kyrie Irving for Kemba Walker. Now this could actually work out good for the Celtics. I don't know how the Celtics. I could be completely off about the Celtics because yes, they did get Kemba Walker, who is basically Kyrie Irving is basically the same player as Kemba, but Kyrie is the best player. Not gonna lie about that. Is a better player. And yes, they still have Jaylen Brown. Jason really don't know how he's going to respond, but I'm kind of leaning towards the 6th seed for the Boston Celtics. About that, I think they were actually a sleeper last season. I think they were gonna make the playoffs because the year before, the season before, because in 2017-2018 season, they barely missed the playoffs after they just got Blake Griffin, and they also got a really good coach and Dwayne Casey. Dwayne Casey. Now on top of that, they did pick up Derrick Rose, and yes, I know that Derrick Rose is not the player he was in his MVP years, but he's still a good player. I mean, he was putting up 17 points a game in his last season against the Minnesota. I do think the Minnesota on trying to. But yeah, the injuries, he's not been the same. It's actually been pretty sad to see him like that, but I don't think but I do think people are kind of sleeping on the Pistons. Some people think that they're going to miss the playoffs. I don't playoffs. I think that they will at least make the playoffs. And I can see them being a top 5 seed. Number 4, we got the Miami Heat. The one team that I got making the playoffs that missed the playoffs last season, because they did add Jimmy and that they do got some good pieces. I think they were also dealing with some injuries. I think it's also because Hassan Whiteside was kind of messing up their chemistry. And now that he's gone, they do got that distraction out. So that distraction's gone. Another team acting a good season, still deep down with that injury. So we'll see how that goes when he comes back. And then again, I could be off about this because Oladipo, 2 All-Star caliber seasons. He did have 2 All-Star caliber seasons, but he went down with the cerebral injury that caused him to miss the rest of the season, and he also missed the playoffs. I do think that the Pacers might be a little unpredictable. Number 2, one of the 2 teams who I think has the best chances to make the NBA Finals. Number 2, I got the Philadelphia 76ers. Yes, it did add Al Horford, which, yeah, I do think they do have a good chance, a very strong chance of making the finals, because Al Horford, he can play some really good. He can still getting older, but he can still play some defense. At the end of the day, so we don't. But no, 6. I think that would make a big difference in this game, because he can pretty much do a lot of stuff. He can play some defense. He can play defense. He's a great playmaker. He's a really good passer. He can really get the rebound. He's pretty good at getting to the rim. He's basically like an unathletic LeBron James with no jump shot. And who knows, he might become even better. So we'll see what happens with that. Number 1 seed, Milwaukee Bucks. I think Giannis Antetokounmpo is the second best player on the planet, behind LeBron James. And I do think, and they also got a good pickup in Kyle Korver, who I think will be a great fit there, because Giannis, like LeBron, he does need floor spacers, because Giannis, he's also really good at attacking the basket. I think people underrate Giannis, because mostly ESPN, because a lot of people they're not really known to be a high market team. I think that's why freaking ESPN goes after them, which, yeah, I never take ESPN serious. Yes, I know, but Chris Middleton, Korver, base the floor as well. They got Brooke Ross is a solid pickup for them coming off the bench. But yeah, I think hopefully get a few more stops. So I do have the Bucks. It's really tough. I don't know who's gonna go to the finals, Bucks or Sixers. I might have to lean on the Bucks, though the Sixers might get it. Now we're gonna go out west, and we're gonna start talking about number 15, the Memphis Grizzlies. They just traded away Mike Conley, which, yeah, I get it. I get it. Mike Conley. He's not. I think Mike Conley I think Mike Conley has not been getting talked about a lot. I think he had a pretty underrated season. He's a guy who dropped 21 points a game. He's not really mostly known for scoring. He's also a guy who's a good passer, and all that. So, yeah, that got him gone. I think the Grizzlies are now going to full rebuild mode, and I think they're using that draft pick that they had with Ja Morant to help jumpstart that rebuild. Number 14, I got the Phoenix Suns. Yes, I know. DeAndre Ayton has proven that he does have some nice potential. Devin Booker, I think he might be like an all-star caliber player right now. He's a great scorer. I think he does have parts in this game that he needs to work on, like his defense, and all that. I think he has some work that needs. I think he has some work to do. So, number 13. A lot of you guys might be shocked about this. I got the New Orleans Pelicans. I might have pissed some people off just now. The reason why I got the Pelicans down there is because yes, I know they got Zion, but Zion he is very unproven. He has yet, and they have gotten Brandon. They got Brandon Ingram, which we don't know how he's going to be after that shoulder injury. Lonzo Ball, who I actually like, I think he can become an all-star in the future. I don't think he'll be an all-star yet. That's what I think. All-star yet. I do think he has that Magic Johnson. Some people might think that's ludicrous. People say oh, he has no jump shots. Like, I mean, he can do everything else pretty well. Very well. He can, but Lonzo's still a little bit unproven. He still has some work to do. And he has been dealing with some injuries. So we'll see how that goes. Number 12, I got the Oklahoma City Thunder. Yes, I know they got Chris Paul in return for Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook, who I think is the fourth best player behind LeBron, is number 1. Giannis is number 2, and Kawhi, who's number 3. Anyways, yes, I do think that's why I don't really have them at the very bottom of the West, because it's going to take some time for them to trade away Chris Paul. I know they're going to try to trade away Chris Paul, but it's going to take some time. That's why I got them winning a few games. But the thing is that they will eventually get traded. Like Steven Adams, likely to get traded. Chris Paul, likely to get traded. Dennis Schroeder, he might get traded. Traded, so we'll see about that. Number 11, I got the Dallas Mavericks. Yes, Luka Doncic is Rookie of the Year. He deserved Rookie of the Year. And I love my guy Colin Sexton, don't get me wrong, but personally I think Colin Sexton should have been all rookie first team. Anyways. We don't know if Kristaps will be the same player after that, and even then, it's going to take him some time to develop that chemistry. Okay. Chemistry. So I do think that, I do think if Kristaps is the same player, I do think the Mavericks will be a championship contender. Luka Doncic, he won Rookie of the Year. I do think he has a very strong chance. I do think he has a good chance of becoming probably the best player in the league in the future. I think that's possible for him. Number 10, people's gonna be really mad at this, but I've got the Golden State Warriors. Yes, I know. People's already shutting this off. Already there's people standing outside my house with pitchforks. But here's the thing, people. Klay Thompson, who's now their best player since Kevin Durant left, is out with the injury. And without Klay, where's the defense? I mean, I know there is Draymond Green. Okay, y'all. I get that. But they're going to need more in the defense than just Draymond. Okay, D'Angelo Russell, not really known to be a good defender. Stephen Curry, who's a horrible defender. He's a defensive liability. I think he's overrated anyways. All he does is shoot threes. All he does is shoot threes. Shoot threes. People out there comparing to Magic Johnson, which is absolutely ludicrous. I'll never understand that. It makes no sense. So we got that. And I know. And somehow, by some miracle, they make the playoffs. They'll be out in round 1. They'll be getting swept by either the Lakers or the Clippers. Okay, so 19, I got the Sacramento Kings. Um, I do think De'Aaron Fox is very underrated. I do think he has some nice potential to do good things. They did keep Harrison Barnes, who I think was an important piece. Marvin is they do have Marvin Bagley, who has had a pretty underwhelming season, but I do think he can make that jump. So we'll see about that. Um, Number 8, I got the Minnesota Timberwolves, barely making the playoffs. And yes, Andrew Wiggins does have a lot to prove. I do think that he needs to start working on his. He's basically a guy who's known to be a mid-range shooter who shoots a lot of mid-range shots, but he doesn't even make them. Is Karl-Anthony Towns. He is a star. I don't think he's a superstar. I think he's basically a defensive ability away from being a superstar, honestly. So there's that. Number 7, I got the San Antonio Spurs. Um, San Antonio Spurs. Yeah, I don't think they'd be too high. I mean, LaMarcus Aldridge, DeMar DeRozan. I mean, that's not gonna be enough to make you that much of a higher seed. To be honest with you guys. To be honest with you guys, I do think they will still make the playoffs because the genius basketball intellect and Greg Popovich, and they still got some nice players on there. Jacob Hurtle, I mean, he's young, so who knows? So who knows what we can get out of him? 6th seed Utah Jazz. People's probably gonna be mad at me because they were right around there, and they did just add Mike Conley, which, yeah, they did, but at the same time, I got 2 other teams that was below them last year who made a big jump, and yeah, that might be kind of obvious. I have an obvious answer who his team's going to be, but I do think if those teams hadn't jump, maybe their seeding would have been a little bit higher. Who knows? I do think that overall they do have a better roster, but they got more competition in the West. And yes, and the reason why I do think they'll be better because they did add Mike Conley, who is not only a good player, but he's also a good fit for them because they could use some defense and some playmaking. I do think some playmaking. It's just too bad that they just got more competition. Number 5, I got the Portland Trailblazers. It's really hard for me to not put them higher, but I couldn't because the teams that is above them. But first off, they still got their usual duo of Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum. But the reason why I think they will be better this season is because they did add Hassan Whiteside. They do need a rim protector. Yes, I know Hassan Whiteside is not a shooter. I get that. But he can still be an important piece on any team. I do think that they can still make some noise, and they also got that stealing Nasir Little. Number 4, I got the Houston Rockets. I was so tempted to put in the Blazers above the Houston Rockets because we don't know how James Harden and Russell Westbrook going to work together. And yes, I know they were teammates back in Oklahoma City Thunder at one point. I get all that. I do. At the end of the day, if they do manage to figure it out, I'm really hoping they are. Because Russell Westbrook, I do think he is now the best player on the Houston Rockets. I'm sorry, James Harden's fans. I just do. All right. And pretty much, I don't know. Let's see here. Number 3, we got Denver Nuggets. I do think that Denver, they will be one of the. I do think they could possibly make another big jump. I do think that if the Lakers never did get Anthony Davis and the Clippers never did get the trades, I do think it will be between the Lakers and the Nuggets, but at third, Nikola Jokic. I think he's the second best center in the league behind Joel Embiid, in my opinion. I do think that Joel Embiid is the best center. It's Nikola Jokic. He's a very unusual center. I'll say that. Jokic is. Jokic is. They still got some good pieces. Michael Porter Jr. Chances are who will start playing for them. He was a guy that they drafted in the 2018 draft. Yes, the 2018 draft. And he didn't play his rookie season, but he was injured. And a lot of people consider him a steal of the night because he was basically projected to be like top 5 or something, but he was passed up on 13 times, and he had been the 14th overall pick. So we'll see what happens with him. Number 2, I got the Los Angeles Lakers. Now people might say, I thought the Lakers was your pick to win a championship. They are. The thing is that I think LeBron will probably be missing some. Will probably be sitting out some games, and I'm not talking about missing games due to injury. I think he'll just be straight up just like sitting out to try to get so we can rest up for the playoffs. I mean LeBron, he kind of did this. He was on Cavs, and so I think it was due to coaching decisions. So I would not be surprised if Frank Vogel does that. And Frank Vogel, I do think he is a good pickup as a coach. He was a really good part of the Pacers back in the old days when the Pacers was giving the Miami Heat a hard time in the playoffs. So there's that. Number 1, I got the Los Angeles Clippers. Once again, the acquisition of Paul George and Kawhi Leonard gave the Clippers a huge jump. I do think that the Lakers and Clippers will be facing off against each other in the playoffs, and those two are, and that is going to be an exciting series. It's going to be crazy, but I do got to give the Lakers a slight edge. Yes, I guess if you're talking about like overall list of players, maybe the Clippers, but I do think in terms of fit, personally, I think LeBron is the best player on both teams, but I do think that list of players, I do think Clippers have a little bit of an edge, but I do think due to fit, I think the Lakers got a better, because I think Danny Green will be huge for them, to be honest, and he's a guy who can play some defense and he can knock down some threes, so he can spread the floor for LeBron to get to the basket, and I'm sure that could also help with Anthony Davis. It's just that, I do think LeBron's going to be missing some games. Why he might miss a little bit. Just a little bit. So, who knows? It could really be it's really between those two teams who will most likely win the NBA championship. So, that's my list. Hope y'all enjoyed it, and I'll see y'all next time.